So if you didn't know already, the actors are striking, and Bob Iger has been absolutely put on blast for his comments to CNBC. Because again, if you didn't know, Bob Iger's back. He's staying. Hooray! Yeah. Anyway, I love his comments. These are utterly hilarious. So his comments about the strike were interesting, to say the least. But like I said, he's been put completely on blast. And being put on blast was he came out of retirement to make 54 million in 2 years. And says this. Yes. Now again, I'm not going to sit here and cry about the actors going on strike. It's the main actors are not, something to worry about. It's the day workers, the day players. It's the grips. It's all the camera guys. It's the team around the actors that get paid significantly less and have to consistently work to actually make a good living. Those are the ones I'm worried about. George Clooney's and things like that. Helen Mirren's, I couldn't give a toss. You've got millions and millions and millions crying about money. Go home, go away, go back to your mansion. Like, I couldn't give a shit. But yeah, it's the day players that is, the sad thing. And just to play devil's advocate, I do get why they're striking. I understand why. I do understand why. Because they're talking about AI, and AI is a pretty serious issue at the moment, and it's it needs to get written into contracts so it doesn't get out of control. So I understand that. But anyway, let's take a look at this. Again, Bob Iger put on blast for his comments over the strike. So after telling CNBC's David Faber Thursday that the labour situation is very disturbing and how the Hollywood unions aren't being realistic about the current financial climate, he made 54 million in 2 years. Fuck off. WGA picketers went postal on social media by pointing out that the massive pay disparity between the Disney CEO and most working writers today, which is true. I mean, you can't argue with that. So you can't complain about financials while paying yourself massive sums of money, okay? Like, we're not idiots. In a lengthy sit-down with CNBC from Sun Valley, Idaho, Iger addressed the SAG-AFTRA and WGA strikes and his ongoing feud with Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. Though his digs at DeSantis were lauded, he called the governor's claims that Disney is messing around with children preposterous and inaccurate. He lost the Tinseltown rank and file when he said, "This is the worst time in the world to walk off the job." Is it? Is it the worst time in the world? Is it? Come on, behave. And these are what he said. "I understand any labour organisation's desire to work on behalf of its members to get the most compensation and be compensated fairly based on the value that they deliver. We managed as an industry to negotiate a very good deal with the Directors Guild that reflects the value that the directors contribute to this great business. We wanted to do the same thing with the writers, and we'd like to do the same thing with the actors. There's a level of expectation that they have that is just not realistic. And they are adding to the set of the challenges that this business is already facing that is, quite frankly, very disruptive." Look, when you've got like individuals that, are day player actors, they will have another job as well. So, come on, behave. The expectations that they have to earn a good living from doing the work that you profit 54 million in 2 years off of isn't exactly a high expectation. To have like a realistic living wage, I don't think it's a high expectation. It's not. Now, again, like, I'm not going to sit here and say, blah, 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 cry me a river, all this kind of stuff. I'm not interested in that. People that bring good value to businesses should get paid enough to at least compensate them for their time with the value that they bring. Right? Disney CEO Bob Iger earning 52 million in 2 years is not good value when your company is losing money. Disney Plus, it's like 14 billion down the drain. Yeah? I mean, this year alone, your movie division, the division that you rule over, has lost over $1 billion. Lost over $1 billion. So 54 million in 2 years is not a realistic compensation. That's not someone that adds value to the business. It's just not. So should he be compensated that sum of money? Absolutely not. When the business he presides over, the core functionality of the business, is going down the drain. Now you could say, ultimately, again, ladies and gents, that the day players, the writers, the actors, they're all part and parcel of the machine. They are, and they have a part to play in this. They do. But they are only also doing what they're told. Right? The studios do tell them, no, we dictate to you, you must write this. You must write that. So Iger's comments came a few days before the start of the quarterly earnings season, when dozens of public companies will interact with Wall Street analysts and undoubtedly get quizzed about the Labour impasse. Netflix reports its earnings next Wednesday, and a number of major media and tech players will follow over the coming weeks, while companies exert a great deal of control over earnings calls and can hand-pick analysts to ask certain kinds of questions during Q&A periods. There are often moments for picketing guild members to scrutinise. The last few calls that Bob Iger's been on, he's been ripped apart by shareholders. Like, absolutely ripped apart. Now, similarly, David Zaslav has become a prime target for many picket signs during WGA walkout. He predicted that a love of working, shared both by the WGA and AMPT, would ultimately end the strike. The topic of Labour, intriguingly, did not surface at all during the official earnings call that he had. But Iger, however, jumped headfirst into it. It's so funny. But yeah, he's been ripped apart. Absolutely ripped apart. And other people, congratulations, I guess, to David Zaslav for not having made these comments in this time. The Hold My Beer competition is really a tight race this year. Well, this extension Bob Iger signed yesterday is very disturbing to me. Yeah, he's actually signed on up until about 2031, if I remember rightly. It's not just 2026. He's officially signed on to continue over to 2031. There's barely any pathway for support staff to rise up because shrinking episode orders and smaller writers' rooms, mini rooms, have decimated lower level job oops and freelance script ops. That's why pre-WGA have been on the line with us en masse. And again, more people just ripping them apart. Somehow even the SAG joining the WGA on strike once the Actors National Board meets at 9 a.m. to approve the negotiating committee's unanimous recommendation. Today's main character of the strike is Bob Iger, who woke up and decided to be David Zaslav. Bob Iger lecturing everyone about what is realistic while his park employees live in cars. Oh, and also a large portion of those, literally yearly, park employees are arrested for pedophilia. So just as an FYI. And are on food stamps as he gets paid $27 million a effing year is the height of hypocrisy. F every single one of these bloody fanged orcs. I cannot stand it. Love that this interview was given at the Sun Valley Conference of Billionaires, where they all flew in on their private jets. Yeah, we're the unreasonable ones for demanding fair compensation for our work. And this is the thing. Again, it's not fair compensation. This guy shouldn't earn $27 million a year, when his company's going down the drain. It's just ridiculous. Like, absolutely ridiculous. Isn't Bob Iger currently at a billionaire summer camp talking about SAG-AFTRA and the WGA being unrealistic? Yeah, hilarious. The hypocrisy. Quick, somebody asked Bob Iger how much Disney pays showrunner assistants. You can only call your workers and partners unrealistic if you cannot see beyond the confines of the very narrow, morally bankrupt business ideology that has set your company on this long track towards exploitation and injustice. Yeah, funny. So he's been put on blast. I like it. It's funny. This guy is a raging douche canoe. Yeah, he's not going to be... he earned a total compensation of $45.9 million in 2021. Fucking hell, it's madness. Earned a cash bonus of $22.9 million. This guy's insane sums of cash. And he doesn't deserve it. It doesn't deserve it. Hollywood writers on average are paid $69,500 a year. Bob Iger is paid $74,175 a day. That's very disturbing to me, Bob. Yeah. I mean, look, at the end of the day, it's good that he's been put on blast. He's not the be-all and end-all. And ultimately, Disney's going down the pan, so this guy shouldn't be compensated that much. But anyway, it's interesting nonetheless. Let me know your thoughts down below. Cheers, guys. Take care. Bye-bye now.